In Haywood County, North Carolina, Mike, Jerry, and Richard have just 4 days to deliver $2,800 of berry shine in time for a wedding.
We ain't got enough water here to put out a campfire.
But the creek at their still site ran dry. Now they must come up with a novel way to distill 4 barrels of mash into high-proof liquor without a steady supply of cold water.
The whole idea is like, a piece of pipe will go through here like this.
I've never created alcohol without using good cold water.
Once it comes up through it, then it'll go out to each one of the coals.
We have to have this by the day of the wedding. I mean, this can ruin our reputation. We're literally up a creek without a paddle, without water in this instance.
To condense hot alcohol vapor without cold water, Jerry proposes building a 4-foot column to mount on top of their pot, then attaching 8 coils of copper tubing to the sides of the column. At the bottom of each coil, they'll mount a catch jar. As they heat the mash to 172 degrees Fahrenheit, alcohol vapor will rise up the column into the copper coils, radiating the heat into the surrounding air. If enough heat is dissipated, the alcohol vapor should cool enough to condense it into liquid before it reaches the open ends of the coils, leaving gravity to pull it back down into the catch jars.
In theory, this should work, but we have to see if we have enough surface area to turn our alcohol vapor back into a liquid.
Here's the tubes we're gonna stick through these things. These are gonna be pointing down just like this right here. So the steam will come around, it'll go up these holes. As it starts to travel around those coils, it's gonna have more surface area to be able to condense. Once it starts condensing and rolling back downhill, we'll be able to collect it.
Every idea Jerry has works on paper, but not even Jerry knows if it's gonna work once we get it out there.
There you go.
A condenser cap.
Pretty much.
One thing's for sure, let's do this without water, we're gonna need a whole lot of coal. Typically, your most common condenser coil is gonna be about 25 to 30 feet long. All right, let's carry this whole roll back here to the table and we'll cut that off. We're gonna make 8 of these coils. They're gonna be a little bit shorter, but they're gonna be 8 of them. In reality, once we're all said and done, we're gonna have about 117 to 120 feet of actual length of pipe, like 5 times more than a normal condenser. Just like any other condenser, the ends are open, but the air should cool it with no problem before the alcohol vapor comes out the top.
Let's start at the top and work our way down. What do you think? It's like everything else that we build. It's got a lot of tiny, intricate pieces to it. There's jars everywhere, there's valves everywhere, there's coils running everywhere. We have utilized every piece of surface area that we possibly can to condense this alcohol. So we're hoping this works. If it don't, it's back to square one. That's the end of it. Looks good, don't it?
You've done a good job.
But is it gonna work? There's a lot of money riding on this whole daggum thing, not just the build, but you know, the mash that we've got to run off. This has got to happen and it's got to work properly. That's ready to rock and roll, man. Let's get her to the woods.
You know, we got this 4-berry shine that's due for this wedding in a few days, and this is a real big deal for us. This waterless condenser, we don't know of anybody that's ever tried this. This is something we have to have right now. We got this deadline, we have no water. We got to make this happen one way or the other.
Well, you can act like you taller than I am or something. Jerry stretching.
Right. Cotton?
It's pretty enough.
It's pretty, that's for sure.
You know, this waterless condenser's got 8 different coils on it, 117 feet with 8 jars hanging from it as well. We gotta put some mash in it and see if we can't get it going on. This has gotta work. We've got 4 different types of berries in 8 different barrels. Whoa! Raspberries, strawberries, blueberries, and blackberries. This is a very expensive mash, and we've only have so much of it to go around. Fingers crossed, we got a lot riding on this. My trust is going in Jerry. It's either gonna go up in smoke or it's gonna work. Let's light her up.
But we all got a lot riding on this, but myself, I feel like has even more. You know, I've convinced these guys that this will actually work.
But we'll know if it works if we start seeing liquor in these jars.
Yeah.
That's right.
Mike's trusted me over the years to come up with some crazy things, and we've had pretty good success of making things work. And I feel like this is gonna be no different. It's just now gotten to the T, and that one.
Oh, we got steam.
Oh, we got
Jerry.
steam, baby.
Crap, we got steam.
That ain't no good there.
No, we got steam blowing all over the place. That's
This
money.
ain't good, Jerry.
Man, we got money flying in the air right now.
Too much. We got mash in here that we're wasting.
Man, I realize that. I understand that.
This is disheartening, man. I'm looking up at this thing. That's our product. That's our expensive berry mash. That's the customers. Everything's just going up in smoke. Well, we better shut it down and get the hell out of here. The damn birds are getting drunk.
Wait, hold on a second. Guys, did you happen to notice something? A little bit of a breeze come through just a second ago. How it just like it stopped steaming.
It started
and
condensing.
It went to condensing. Look at that, man.
Hell, it's starting to fill the jars up.
Just that little bit of air, that little bit of breeze, man, is making that thing condense.
All of a sudden, a breeze comes by and the leaves starts moving, the tree starts blowing, starts right back to condensing.
We're this close. We're close to having it.
But we can't make the damn wind blow all the time.
Well, I mean, we can. I mean, I think I know a way we can actually put some fans on here.
Gotta have electricity.
Yeah, you do. You gotta have power. Let's run back to the shop. I got some little hobby fans in there. Get them
We
installed.
gotta figure out something. Right now, we need to kill this thing and quit wasting our mash.
We'll go to the shop, get this done.
Let's get it.
Well, Phyllis, kind of our last resort here.
Yeah, and it, by God, better work too.
This waterless condenser, this is something we have to have right now. We got this deadline. We have no water. We got to make this happen one way or the other. All we got to have is just a little bit more airflow. You know, I'm thinking if we just put one motor and one fan on each coil right at the top, and we're blowing the cool air from above down onto it, I think that's all we're gonna need. We've only got a few days left to get this done, so we're gonna fix this up some fans and make this system work.
Where we gonna get the electricity from? We gonna put this on a bunch of batteries?
We could, but I think it'd be very costly and we'll be changing batteries all the damn time. You ever heard of a Peltier cell? So I come up with an idea to use a Peltier cell. As long as you can keep one side of it hot and one side of it cold, it will actually move electrons and produce power. And these are like 1.5 volts per pad.
Okay.
Got 8 motors, we're gonna need 16 of these things. So we got plenty of heat off the steel. The idea is we're gonna take and put a motor and a propeller on each coil. It should be able to move enough air to keep this thing cool. We'll heat this little block of metal up to where it represents the heat of our steel. This heat sink is gonna keep the one side cool, and this is gonna be our warm side here. We've got a big heat sink with fins on it on the outside to keep it cool to be able to dissipate the heat via the air. We'll let that heat on there.
I want you to look. How's that even possible?
We're moving electrons.
So Jerry's gonna take at least 16 Peltier cells and bolt them together and then stick it to the side of the steel column. It'll generate power, make the fans work, keep enough airflow going around this waterless condenser system that we've got to create good alcohol.